Hey everyone, it is Velvet. Welcome back to more Coffee Talk. In the last one, we met Henry Furlong, Rachel's father, who's very overprotective of her, but also correctly paranoid in some places, I think. Because, yeah, showbiz is... it likes to eat people alive. But anyway, let's start the next day. Hi, Freya. I'll be with you in just a second. Also, I mentioned it last time how I figured things would be, like, foreshadowing the day. This one did not. But let's see. The Anxious Boy and His Love Stories on Public Transport. The day was hot, sunny, and humid, just like most days in Jakarta. I was standing inside a crowded bus, neither well-functioning air conditioning nor proper ventilation. Oof. Trying to keep myself productive in the uncomfortable environment by reading my recently bought copy of Maruki Harukami's The Elephant Vanishes while listening to a random playlist on my old iPod. Funny seeing like an actual brand name in here when Haruki Murakami, I did look up who that person was, is mocked up like this. Despite the hellish conditions, you could say I was luckier than most because I was standing near the rear door of the bus, leaning my back on the side of the seat, safe enough to not fall out of the bus, breezy enough to breathe freely. As mentioned, I was on a public bus in Jakarta, so naturally I needed to be wary of my surroundings, mostly keeping my belongings secure from pickpockets and other human pests. I glanced around the bus several times in between pages, and that's when I saw her. It's hard to describe her. She has no specific characteristic to differentiate her from other women. She was like the perfect example of the girl you walk past unseeing on the sidewalk every day. A girl you might glance at for a second, then a few steps later it would be hard even to remember her hair color, never mind what her eyes, her nose, her mouth looked like. She was standing near the front door of the bus, not leaning on anything or anyone, not touching the bacteria-infested hand grip on the ceiling of the bus, although, to be fair, it might have been hard for her to reach that grip anyway. But still, she stood there with the perfect balance of a tree rooted in healthy soil. She stood as if somebody had silently put the Venus de Milo on the bus and she somehow fit perfectly without anyone noticing it happening. She was wearing a pair of earphones, wired, just like headphones were supposed to be. Ain't that the truth? I don't trust wireless headphones. I guess like if they're the over the head headphones, but like not AirPods. I feel like I would lose those super quickly. And they're too expensive to risk that, I think. And a slight smile on her face. Sometimes she closed her eyes for a few moments, enjoying the music only she could hear. Her eyes rarely stayed in one place. They kept wandering around the bus, not too fast like someone anxious, not too slow like someone looking at something specific. Maybe she's the one, I thought. This isn't the first time a thought like this has crossed my mind. As a hopeless romantic, seeing any woman who piques my interest will immediately trigger a story in my imagination. A story of how I'll approach them, get to know them, with a proviso that they're just as I imagine them to be. Start dating, get married, have kids, grow old in our home, and so on and so on. Random cuties. That's what I call them. Unicorns among horses. The term doesn't apply to any cute girls I see, of course. It has to be someone special, or at least someone I imagine to be special. The thing is, automatically imagining those stories whenever I happen across a random cutie isn't healthy. It puts a toll on my mind, of course, my heart. It creates a lot of unhealthy expectations before any opportunities even arise. Oh shit! She looked at me. We made eye contact for a brief flash of seconds. I immediately returned to my book. Did she notice me staring at her? Did she see what I was thinking? My mind won't stop spinning, overthinking, while my pulse beats down double time in my ears. I continue staring at my book. With what just happened, I obviously can't read it properly. My eyes were looking at the words, but nothing was being processed other than thoughts of her. I glanced back at her, and she was staring at me. Eye contact more than once. It has to mean something. Should I approach her and introduce myself? Yes, I should. But what if things go wrong? What's the worst thing that could happen if we introduce ourselves? First, it's a crowded bus, and moving from the rear door to the front will definitely annoy some people. Second, what if after we approach her, she becomes annoyed and... Oh, come on, you're overthinking as usual. Nothing bad will happen even if she does get annoyed. Don't dismiss me. Nothing bad will happen. Well, she might scream and say I'm a pervert, and then the whole bus will beat me to death. Oh, and the worst option. What if we introduce ourselves and it turns out she's not like we imagined her to be? All that time and energy will be wasted, exchanged for years of agony. Oh, fart. Everything will be fine. Don't worry so much. No matter what happens second, we still have to try something first. No, there's too much risk. The debate is still raging inside my head, and that's when it happens. We make eye contact again, but this time, it lasts longer than a few seconds. And then, she smiled at me. Just a small curve on those perfectly average, beautiful lips. I quickly returned to my book. See? You have to do something. But remember the girl with the violin we saw on the train to Yogyakarta a few years ago? Of course I remember. I'm so curious what the punchline to this is going to be, other than just this guy's spiraling anxiety. He mentioned pickpockets earlier. Maybe he gets thieved while he's thinking about all this. Of course I remember. Exactly. She was just a random person that sat across from you on the train. We don't even remember what month it was, and yet we still remember the maroon coat she was wearing, the violin case she put in the overhead compartment, her reddish hair and that pixie cut, her... Stop it! That was different, and we might have saved ourselves a lot of embarrassment by not talking to her. The thoughts, the noise, the internal dialogue, it won't stop. I was sweating, but not because of the heat. A cold sweat. This had to stop. Stop! I screamed internally. Everything stopped, and just in time. My old iPod randomly shuffled to the explosions in the spaces, the only moment we were alone. I cranked up the volume and put my book in my bag and just breathed. Yes, I might lose the chance to meet the one by doing this. But at least, as long as I don't know her, she's perfect. As far as I know, she might be listening to explosions in the space. As far as I know, she might be a big fan of Harukami and Final Dreams 9. As far as I know, she might be single. As far as I know, she might be the 100% perfect match for me that I believe can't exist if my knowledge of her goes any further than what I know right now. Besides, as the old saying goes, if it's meant to be, it will be. The bus stopped in front of Plaza Senayan, my destination. It was time for me to go. I decided not to look in her direction as I left, knowing that if I looked at her, it would be the last time I ever saw her. That's too hard for a hopeless romantic like me. I left the bus and enjoyed the warm sun and the breeze of fresh air, finally out of that Schrodinger's box. That's when it happened. I turned my head to the right, and there she was, standing alone, enjoying the breeze now that she was free of the roasting metal box we humans named Bus. She turned her head to the left, showing a glimmer of surprise at seeing me standing there. After that, she smiled. So, if it's meant to be, it will be? After all that adventure, you have to go for it, my dude. What was all of that? And it just ends there, Freya. I was actually invested in this guy. What the hell? Anyway, hi Freya. Thank you for the puppy dog eyes as I was reading your story, hopefully out loud to you. I hope you enjoyed my dramatic rendition with my couple of stumbles. Are you sure that would be okay? Yes! I mean, it would be really hard to pull off, but it's something that'll make the story different. Different isn't always good, agree? It's a neat concept, but you need to handle it carefully and gracefully. I know. What's she trying to do? Oh, hey Gala. Hey Gala. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Gala. Am I interrupting? It looked like you were having an intense discussion. It's nothing. Velvet was just giving me feedback. It's for the book I'm writing. Sounds like a heavy discussion. What are you up to tonight? I'm just planning to sit and relax. Please don't let my presence interrupt you. Oh, don't worry about it. Although, I need to interrupt Velvet for a moment. Sure, how can I help you? Can I have a cup of... you remember my remedy? Of course. Do you want to give it a try again? My last order didn't quite hit the spot. Remember, it's tea and ginger. The last thing is definitely a different ingredient from either of those. Okay. Remember, it has tea and ginger. If I recall, we had it almost right, but the order of our ingredients was wrong. There we go. So it should be tea, milk, ginger. But also, I wanna like just do this just to see, because this was the opposite thing. I want to see if this comes up with the thing I got wrong last time. Yes, STMJ. Okay. We'll trash it now, but I just wanted to make sure. So, tea, milk, ginger. Galahad. Well, that's as amazing of a confirmation as any, because it has his name in it, and it's like a pun. Here you go, Mr. Gala. Tomodachi. Gala. Veteran, now working in a hospital. Sick. And brew pad, this must be added to the brew pad, yeah. Okay. Judging from the smell, this looks like it. Indeed. I have the same feeling. I've made a note of that mixture. Perfect. Anyway, please don't mind me and continue your discussion. Don't worry, Mr. Gala. We're done for the night. You're done. I have a lot of new homework, thanks to you. You're welcome. Is Hyde coming? No, I'm by myself tonight. Jump cut to Hyde just walking through the door like, hey, Gala! It's nice to see you, buddy. It's gonna be a peaceful night then. That's mean, Freya. Oh, come on, I was just joking. He needs to learn how to communicate his thoughts nicely, though. He might not look like it, but he's a very kind person, you know. Yeah, of course. Someone doesn't offer that much of their time to someone who's struggling if they're not kind at heart. He didn't interject just to be a dick. He genuinely wants the best for her. Like, yeah, maybe how he said it could have been unrefined. I'm no longer interested in that discussion. But, like, he doesn't show it, that's for sure. That applies to you as well. Oh, come on. Oh, hey, Baileys. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Baileys. Heya. How are you doing, Freya? Not good. What's going on? Velvet was just criticizing my story. It's called feedback. It's cruel. It's necessary. Sounds interesting. What's the problem with the story? The story is non-linear and quite complicated. How complicated? Like, are we talking House of Leaves? Imagine a choose-your-own-adventure storybook, but for adults. Sounds pretty common so far. But instead of telling you which page to turn to, each decision you make will give you a score. I'm having trouble picturing how that would work. What? That score will determine which page you should go to. That sounds more like a video game than a book. I know. It's not that original. But my target here is the mainstream audience. Huh? With the help of my publisher, this kind of book may go mainstream. Just like that Choose Your Own Adventure show on Netstream. It was nothing new, but because of the marketing and the names involved, it reached the mainstream market. That sounds interesting. And highly ambitious, Freya. At least it's simpler than my other idea. Which is making the novel not in the form of a book, but in the form of story cards. Yeah? Explain? I don't quite get what you mean. What? I know, right? As if she has all the time in the world, and that's before even considering the sensitive issue of setting the story in a world where only humans exist. What did you say? Now, there's a reason why it has to be that way. Just wait until I finish it, okay? Alright. As Velvet said, though, I won't have the time. Getting a normal pitch approved is already a steep climb. Let's not make the mountain even higher. Fair enough. What's the story all about, by the way? You'll have to wait for it. Don't want to spoil the fun. If you say so. Anyway, I haven't ordered anything. What do you want to drink tonight? Ginger latte, if you know how to make it. Ginger latte. That would be coffee, ginger, and milk, would it not? There you go. Here you are, and yep, we get. Here's page 3. We'll draw and design for food and shelter. Punk, been listening to Pumpkin Spice since I was a wee lad. A wee lad? Is he Irish? What I'm doing with my life. Escaping bloodlines, experiencing life one color at a time. One day I will have my own solo exhibition. I wish you the best of luck with that. Here you go. Thanks. Please stop front-facing me. Your eyes are very intense. Damn, this is good. With this kind of drink-making skill, wonder why your place isn't bigger. What we have here now is more than enough for me. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. By the way, how are you doing, Baileys? Still busy with your last client? Oh, I'm done with her. Done? As in you're dropping the project? Hey, I'm not crazy. I still need the money. Done, as in I've finished the job. Spent the past few days making sure. It's even done before the deadline. Did she like it? Oh, she loved it. She had some complaints, of course. But I convinced her. By using some design terms she doesn't understand. So you finish your job by bullshitting her. The finest bullshit, my lady. That's one survival skill every freelancer must have. Are you working on anything right now? No, I'm taking a break from work. Need to work on a few personal matters. No. Like you and Lua? Something like that. By the way, I'm curious. How did you guys meet? If you don't mind me asking. I don't mind. It's just that I was young and stupid, you know. Oh, come on. Who hasn't been there? You're right. So, I was a bit of a player back in college. Oh, spicy. And I was going after my then best friend's girlfriend's friend. Best friend's girl. Okay, yeah. Alright, I'm with you. Wait, what? Okay, I'll say it slowly. I used to have a best friend. He was an incubus. Okay, let's call him Cognac. Cognac has a girlfriend. Still following? And that girl has a friend. The friend is the one I'm after. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, no, it took me a second to parse out, but I got it. She was one of the hottest girls there, but everyone knew she wasn't the type of girl you'd want to date. Why? I don't want to get into the details, but this succubus was super hot, and all the guys wanted to sleep with her. She was a player, too. Huh? That doesn't sound like Lua at all. Because it wasn't Lua, genius. Huh? Lua was my friend's girl. Holy moly. Yeah, this is spicy. This is getting spicier. The other girl's name was... Let's just call her Rose. Continue. I knew Lua thanks to her relationship with Cognac. That's a fake name you made up, right? Yes! Now, will you let me continue without interruptions? Okay. So, I asked Lua a lot of things about Rose. She knew what I was after. It annoyed her so much, but I kept on bothering her. I mean, I was a pretty active guy back then. So, Lua came over to visit us at one point. I lived with Cognac back in college. I've been out, and I got back just as Lua arrived. Total coincidence. We went into our place together and witnessed something surprising. Was Cognac cheating on Lua with this girl? What? Cognac was sleeping with Rose. And so Lua dated you to get back at him, huh? And then you ended up actually falling for each other? Holy mother of moly! I saw the look on Lua's face. The disbelief, anger, sadness. Yeah, that's utter betrayal. Like, someone you think you trust just going behind your back like that in any context, but especially in like a sexual one. It's just like, it's heartbreaking. And without even thinking about it, I punched Cognac in the face. You what? I got into a fight with him. Oh, I haven't told you. Cognac was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu tutor for kids. He was pretty good. Oh my. Yeah, I landed that one punch, and he beat me to a pulp. Easily. Lua begged me to stop fighting on her behalf. More like she begged Cognac. Hey, I wasn't kidding. I lost, but I don't give up so easily. I was beaten pretty bad, so Lua took care of my injuries. We grew closer after that. And I don't even remember the exact date, but suddenly that friendship turned into a relationship. It was one hell of a story. I know. Have you seen her by any chance? Yeah. Lua came by a few days ago. How is she doing? She hasn't returned any of my calls or texts. I'm sorry. That's rough. Well, she's healthy, that's for sure. She got into an argument, though. With whom? There was this male model. A model? I didn't think she was the type of girl to go out with a model. Oh, they weren't together. What were they arguing about? Well, we were talking about your relationship. Lua told us about the reason behind the fight, about your family stuff. And then this guy, Hyde, joined the discussion. What did he say? He didn't understand why Lua would insist on getting family approval, considering, you know. What? You're willing to leave your own family. You would do that for her? Yes, I would. I'm sick and tired of my family. Why would you say that? Let me tell you about my family. Or I should say, most elven families. They all think they're so high and mighty. The elven superiority complex is eternal, I suppose. If you're born an elf, there are certain unwritten rules you must follow. Reputation and appearance are everything. We must never, ever make our family look bad. You can only befriend certain people. You must dress a certain way. You can only have certain jobs that are deemed worthy and successful, like being a doctor, a lawyer, a CEO, you know. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be an artist. I loved drawing and creating art. However, becoming an artist is not something elves would deem suitable. Unless you become the next Da Vinci. So, when I switched from a business major to an art major, my parents went crazy, screamed like they were on fire. They told me I'd never be rich or successful. All that because you chose an art degree? You want to know the worst part? They blamed Lua. What do you mean? They blamed her for my decision to pursue my passion for art. Yelled about how her kind is ruining the country. Accusing their religion of worshipping the Dark Lord. Accusing her of putting a spell on me and cursing the family. Whoa! I mean, come on. This is the 21st century. That's what I'm saying. That's so not cool. I don't want to sound judgmental, but your family is racist. Tell me about it. That's not judgmental, that's just facts. Lua is the only person that can make me feel alive. She showed me how I can be free and pursue my dreams. I don't understand why Lua is so obsessed with the idea of reconciliation with my family. I just don't get it. I have no problem leaving my family, you know. I would happily leave them for the both of us. What about her? So is Gala gonna tear this guy a new asshole like Hyde tore Lua one? That's funny. I like the parallels here. That's very good. What about her and her family? You may be happy to leave your family. However, it may not be the same for her. Gala, do you have something to say? I can't believe Hyde and Gala are being our marriage couples therapy. That's very good. Perhaps you could give us a different perspective. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I couldn't help overhearing your story. I assumed that the person you're talking about is not an elf, correct? Yes, she's a succubus. I see. I'm a werewolf. For werewolves, the wolf pack is the most important thing. We'll put our family before any other. We often have our own problems within the pack, but we won't abandon our family for anything. Perhaps that's also true for her and her family. Besides, if you leave your family for her, Wouldn't that make your parents believe that all those bad stereotypes about succubi are true? I don't think that's important. They can believe what they want. They're still racist. But yeah, everybody has different priorities in life, and that is fine. Like I said during the whole Hyde thing, her path is her own. If she wants to choose her family, that's fine. If she cannot make it work both ways and she has to choose one and she chooses her family, totally fine. That is her choice. And hopefully things can work out. And because this is a video game narrative, things likely are. But I can never fault somebody for choosing what's important to them. Most important to them, because clearly they both are. I'd never thought of it that way before. Whether you like it or not, your actions will have an impact on her as well. And if you leave your family for her, that will put her in a difficult spot. She might feel responsible for her actions, for your actions. Yeah, she's made that as much clear. There's nothing to feel bad about. I'm leaving my family to create a better one with her. It's easy for you to say that now, but you don't know what the future holds. One day, circumstances might change. One day, one of you might regret your decisions. One day, you might use the "I left my family for you" card. We love each other. I'll be with her whatever the circumstances may be. You know, love is like a flame. It might burn fiercely at first, but over time, it will die down if you don't maintain it. Maintaining it won't be easy. It will be hard work. It's incredibly true. The initial spark may not be a choice, but the continued love certainly is. If you treat love just as a feeling, it will die. You have to choose every day to make that conscious decision to make things work out. And as he says, it's never easy. It's not easy. Because life is full of storms. And marriage, it will not survive on love alone. Wow, that's deep. We'll have each other, and that's enough for us. Tell me, do you have health insurance? What? I'm an elf. Why would I need health insurance? You'll need some. What for? Immortality is an elven privilege, but you'll lose it if your family disowns you. I've seen people go bankrupt because they fell ill or got seriously injured. Emptied their entire life savings for an $8 pill, because in this country they charge $20,000 for it. God, I think about that a lot, and just, I'm lucky enough to live in a country with universal healthcare. So if I get sick, it's not necessarily a life ender. I won't lose money because of it. I might not gain money because if you're sick, I might not be going to work. But I also work a union job, so I'm a bit more comfortable there because I get sick days and vacation time and everything. But I at least do not have to worry about paying exorbitant fees for my healthcare. But like $20,000 just to have something to continue on living is obscene. And I do hope that gets better in the States. Because people don't deserve that. And if you decide to have children, they won't have the same privileges you do. There's a high probability that they'll get bullied for being a half-breed. Yeah, that's true even in the real world. People of mixed race have their own unique problems that they face. And I'm not remotely qualified to speak on that. But shit's hard. It shouldn't be taken lightly. Think about it. Anyway, I've got to go. I apologize for my intrusion. Now, thank you for your insight. I've got to go too. Want to head out together? Sure. Thanks for the drink, Velvet. And Freya. Bye. What? You made me lose 2 customers in a minute. Hey, that wasn't on me. They were leaving anyway. Are you going to write that in your book? It's a secret. If your book is based on this coffee shop, how can you present a story like theirs in a world with only humans around? I'm not sure. Perhaps a hot drink will give you some inspiration. Sounds like a great idea. Dark chocolate, a warm and calming darkness. Speaking of, I'm gonna have a bite of some dark chocolate right now. Let's see. I want to address that image in just a minute. But, Coachella 2020, 10 reasons why you should go. Sports tournament in space might be only a few decades away. We're gonna recreate blitzball in space instead of water. Let's go. World Health Organization vows to stop major hospitals selling Fury sedative illegally. But why is it illegal? I think they should just be providing Fury sedative. Assuming it's... Because there was another article the other day that said it might be risky, that a lot on the market have adverse side effects. But I think they should just be providing it, assuming it's not evil. Because let's not bankrupt the werewolf for trying not to go batshit insane on people. Right? Also, why is this a rage comic face? That's what it looks like to me. And I don't like that. Anyway, thank you so very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like on the way out. I seriously hope Bailey's and Lua work things out. But until the next video, have a fantastic day, alright? See you then.